Greetings everyone, welcome back to Fruition Garden. As you can see, I'm in front of more leaves, which is an amazing natural resource. This is the row where I had my chamomile, and the chamomile is still going strong. These leaves are providing the perfect amount of warmth to these plants so that they can survive the winter, and they don't even look like they've gone dormant yet. They are still growing, still getting taller. I don't know what this is. It looks like it can be a chive. I have a lot of trouble growing chives for some reason, but I never give up and I try every year, and I will continue to do so. So then over here, I planted some leeks here, which is a type of onion. And I honestly didn't expect it to really do too much. I kind of just threw the seeds here just to have something planted once the squash died back. And they are still growing even though it's been so cold. And they're even getting a little bit of thickness to the stem, which is nice. This one's really thick right here. In fact, if I wanted to, I could probably harvest that, but I'm gonna leave it there because they do just fine in the cold. And I'm gonna let it just get bigger before I harvest it. I believe these are called the American flag leeks, if I'm not mistaken. It's doing amazing. Another thing that I'm surprised by is how well little detour. This is what the, what was this called? The hibiscus, that's what it's called, is looking like now. So it definitely died back. I was able to get one harvest from it before that frost that we got at the beginning of November. And after that, it completely died back, which I kind of expected because I planted it very late. So now we have a huge stem that is not a waste because this is excellent compost. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut it at the base. The stem is very, very thick, so I'm probably going to need a pretty strong tool to cut this down. I will not be pulling it up. I'm going to just cut it or saw it, whatever I need to do, right at the base and leave all of the roots in the ground. So just looking at the height of this plant, how tall it is, I know that it has a very established, strong, wide, deep root system. So those roots are now going to be a great food source and a great home for all of the worms and all kinds of critters that live in the soil. So that is why I never ever pull anything up from the ground. I cut it at the base and I allow all of the roots that are under the ground to break down, to be a food source, and to help to build my soil structure and to build the sponginess of the soil, which is going to allow it to better absorb all of the nutrients and absorb and hold on to all of the nutrients, all of the water. It's going to create a better soil. So whenever you grow anything in your soil, especially if it's something that, it produces a product that you don't have to pull up. If you're growing like rutabagas or turnips, things like that, typically you pull those out of the ground. But if you're growing like, cauliflower or broccoli or peas, beans, hibiscus, whatever it is, you don't need the roots. And so you can just cut off the fruit and leave the roots in the ground. Always let them break down. They will build your soil structure and they will help to give you a healthier, more sustainable soil that will hold on to moisture and hold on to nutrients better. Over here, we've got carrots that are nice and snug and warm under all these leaves that are still growing. I think I want to let all of these carrots go to seed and collect the seeds from them. And that leads me into another thing that I observed in the garden and learned, which is that carrots actually form seeds in their second year of life. So this is an example of a carrot that has gone to seed. I must have forgot to harvest this last year. And so this year it kind of just went straight to seed. I didn't actually harvest all of the seeds from it, but these were beautiful clusters of white flowers, like small white flowers. And then the flowers died back and revealed the wonderful carrot seed. which are these little things here. Even though I didn't actually harvest these and, you know, bag them up and save them, they are still dropping to the ground and can just reseed themselves, and they will germinate in the spring and grow me some more carrots. So that's another way. You don't always have to harvest them and bring them indoors and put them in bags and put the moisture absorber packets in them. Sometimes you can just take them off and throw them around, sprinkle them in the garden, and let nature take its course. If you have a really good set of carrots and you want to save seeds from it, as hard as it is, you're going to have to leave that amazing, delicious, huge, juicy carrot in the ground and let it overwinter. Let it get woody and gross, actually, because a carrot in the second year does not taste good, because that carrot underneath the ground turns into a source of energy for the seed production of the plant. And so all of the sweetness and yumminess is gone in the second year. So, I mean, you can still try and eat it, but if your intention is to collect seeds, you leave the carrot in the ground over the winter, and then when spring comes, it'll start to grow again. But at that point, it'll be growing again to produce seed. And the peas are still going strong, which is amazing. I'm really curious to know if they're going to actually get flowers and get any peas. That would be awesome. And they'll probably be some of the sweetest peas ever because it's been so cold. And the cold weather brings out the sweetness in peas. So there's that. And what else do I want to show you? So many leaves everywhere. Head up here. The weather has been so crazy and so strange that some of these trees don't know whether to go dormant or to stay alive. For example, this apple tree still has leaves on it, which is pretty crazy. This is where I had a pepper plant, and I actually need to cut this down, just like we talked about before. I'll be cutting it at the stem, and I can still take this and lay it across the soil to break down, but I don't want to pull up the plant. I just want to cut it at the base and let the roots break down and decompose in the soil to build my soil structure. Ooh, I just noticed that there's some lettuce growing over here, so that's pretty cool. And it's so crunchy and crispy. Looks really yummy. Hopefully that continues to grow and I can get a good harvest out of that. Let's get a closer look at these carrots, which are getting really big. Maybe I'll harvest a few just for fun. These, I believe, are the small, like the shorter varieties of carrots. So they're not as long as like your usual carrots are, but when they start to poke out of the soil naturally like that, that is when I harvest them, because to me that tells me that they're done. And then you don't want the top of the carrot to be exposed to sunlight because it'll turn green. But let's pull this one up. Delicious carrots. And it's going to be so sweet because it's been cold. So there's the other one. And now that we've harvested this carrot, it now leaves more room for this one to get larger. But I do like to, you know, push the soil back up against the plants put some leaves and wood chips around it to cover the top part. And there we go. And this one is going to be eaten. I think maybe I'll harvest a few. Let's see what else we can find. I think I want to leave that one a little bit longer. We'll leave that one a little longer too. Ooh, I think I want to harvest this one. And if I harvest this one, can you all see? If I harvest this one, it'll leave some room for this one to get bigger. So I'm going to take this one out. The leaves are all tangled up. So delicious. There's carrot number 2. I wish I remember the variety of these. And as you can see, now that I harvested it, it's going to leave room for this one to get larger, for this one to get larger, and for this one to get larger. So I'm going to just push the soil back, cover the base, and there we go. Our 2 carrots, and let's go get some more. Keep that one there. Not all of them poke out of the soil when they're ready. Sometimes you do have to push the soil back and give it a look. Oh, that one has a little strange thing going on there. That one's sizing up nicely, but I'm going to leave that one in as well. I'm going to leave both of those in, all of these in. I think I want to just get one more. Hopefully I can find. This looks like a good one. What do you guys think? I think we'll take this one. And there's carrot number 3. I think I want to do one more, just one more. Let's do one more carrot. Okay, so I'm going to do this one as my 4th carrot. That's it. Won't do any more. I do have another raised bed that I should probably look at, but I'll leave those in longer. The awesome thing about carrots is that you don't have to rush to harvest them, because they store very well right in the ground. It's better to not harvest them and leave them in the ground and use outside as your fridge, because the second you harvest them, the nutrient content begins to deplete. So with carrots, I would recommend harvesting as you eat them. Now after it's like the dead of winter and you probably won't be getting any more growth from the carrots, you can definitely harvest all of them. I've even heard that you can leave them in all winter, so I'm going to test that out and leave a couple of these carrots in and harvest one maybe like in the middle of February, because you never know unless you try. It would be really cool to know that I can actually leave these carrots in all year as long as I harvest them before, we're in the middle of spring, because then the root of the carrot changes and it starts to focus on producing seed, which is going to make the carrot get bitter and not taste very well. And we'll find out if that's true or not together. But if you have tried it, let me know in the comments below if you have tried harvesting your carrots in the middle of winter, and how did it turn out? Were they sweet? Were they soggy? Did they freeze? Or were they fine? I'd love to know. So there's our carrots of the day. I thank you all so much for joining me today and geeking out in the garden with me. I really appreciate it. And that, oh my God. too. I'll leave it in. I'll leave it there. No more. At this point, I'm just getting scissor happy. Well, carrot happy, I should say. So I'm not going to over harvest. I'm going to leave the rest there. I've got enough. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you were inspired to grow your own food, to start your own garden. You can do it. It's so fun, it's so amazing, and it's so, so important. I pray that you all enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.